shuffle has shuffled once again. Now guys, if you were on my Twitter handle last week on Wednesday, I gave you guys 3 more hints as to what this movie was going to be. I said that it was a 5th film in an unconnected series, that this is the 4th actor to play the same exact character, and that it came out 9 years ago, and obviously the movie in question was Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. Now, a little bit of a backstory here. I am not familiar with this character. I don't think I've seen any of the movies that he was ever in, except for Shadow Recruit. I haven't watched the TV shows, I haven't read the books, I literally know nothing about him other than what Shadow Recruit has given me. So keep that in mind, because I have nothing to compare this to. Now, Jacob Martin, you guessed the right answer. It took you a second, but you got it. And honestly, you're at the top of the leaderboard. You're always guessing the right answer. So, without further ado, let's chat about Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. So what Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit is ultimately about is the introduction, or I guess you could say origin story, of Jack Ryan, who is approached by the CIA, and he has to do all of this in secret. He can't tell his girlfriend, all that typical spy mumbo jumbo. But when he notices some financial dealings that's going on in Russia that seems to be a bit wonky, he deduces that they are planning an elaborate financial terrorist attack on the United States economy. And it's up to him to go to Russia, because he knows the information best, obviously, and to stop it from happening. So guys, before I go on with my review, make sure that you head over to my Twitter handle at IAMDWG, because on Wednesdays I do post those hints as to what I'll be reviewing each and every week. So on Wednesday, I'll be talking about the next installment of Cinematic Shuffle, so you don't want to miss that. So on my review of Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. This movie, how do I put it? This movie is not spectacular. It's very much average, mediocre action. There's nothing particular about the character of Jack Ryan that shouts out to me as this thing that needed to be talked about, to be adapted, to be special or original. It just seems like a spy on a very average and complicated espionage thriller. That's not to say that the casting was any bad. I actually do like the cast here. Chris Pine, Kenneth Branagh, or however you say his name, Kevin Costner, and Keira Knightley. And there are some really good names in this film, and they all do a pretty good job. Though I do think that a majority of them are just kind of baseline. You know, they're very, very safe roles, very, very safe performances in general. Like, I just, there's nothing about the movie that shouted out to me that they were trying to make something unforgettable or something that needed to have a sequel down the line either. Is that the reason why the previous Jack Ryan movies were kind of the same? They're all standalone. They have an actor that plays Jack Ryan, they leave, somebody else plays it. What did they have? They had Harrison Ford, right? They had Ben Affleck. They had some good names to play this character. I just don't understand why, what makes it so special. It just seems so shallow, play-by-number spy. That's it. That's all it feels like. The plot of the film, I want to say, sounds somewhat realistic, but it's overly ambitious for its own good, because it's all about finances, it's about numbers, it's about what Russia's planning to do with the money that they're accumulating and how they plan to attack the economy of the United States. I could see it potentially being something that could happen, but at the same time, I couldn't actually follow the story when I was watching the movie. I had to read that on Wikipedia. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense now that I'm connecting the dots. But otherwise, when you're watching it, you're like, I have no idea what's going on. You just have a lot of action. I would say that the second act of the film had the best part of the movie, and that's usually not the case when I watch movies. I don't usually care that much about the second act. But the first and the last act in this movie, I actually think were blah, and they take up a majority of the time. The second act, though, when Jack Ryan's in the field and he's doing his thing, that was cool. They needed to investigate that further. If only he had a better story to do that with. I saw this movie when it first came out, and I want to say I saw it in theater. And the bottom line is that I found it to be forgettable. Now, some people look at this movie and they say it's terrible, it's crap, it's horrible, and that's just not true. It's competent enough as a film. I can't say that the cinematography was bad. No, it's fine. I can't say that the visuals were terrible. No, they were, baseline, fine. Nothing about it actually screamed terrible. It's just forgettable. The only real negative that I had for the movie in general that stood out to me as bad was some of the editing as far as the action scenes go, which it unfortunately falls under the category of shot too close up to the people as they're fighting or doing whatever action scene, and then it's edited together incredibly choppy, like edit. Like, when people do that, they have the idea that the editing gives off the feeling of tension or adrenaline, but in all actuality, it just confuses the audience because they can't exactly tell what's going on. Jack Ryan does that quite a bit. I do have some hope for the other Jack Ryan films for one specific reason. From what I understand, this is like the only Jack Ryan thing that they didn't take from any specific source, any specific book. Instead, it's more of an original story. So if that's the case, maybe that's why the writing isn't very good, because it's not based off of anything. I wish I could tell you that the movie is good. I wish I could tell you that it's bad. It's not. It's forgettable. I don't know, guys. Let's take a look at how I scored Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit, which was a C letter grade. That's right. Final overall score of 61%. 61 out of 100 possible stars. You can see from my unbiased and biased scores down below that they're both in the 6 out of 10 area, I guess you could call it. There's just nothing about this, whether you're talking about how well or how bad it's made or how entertaining it is in general, that I found fascinating, that I found memorable, that I found anything. Again, the second act was fine. Out of everything in the movie, that's the part of the movie that I actually remembered watching way back in the day, almost 10 years ago. But past that, this isn't really a movie that has a ton of things to talk about. Let me know what you thought about Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit in the comment section down below. Have you seen all of the other Jack Ryan adaptations? And if you have, where do you rank this? Which one do you consider to be your favorite? Let me know, because I am kind of curious to see if this character is supposed to be memorable or original, or if he really is just tacky, copy-paste spy stuff. So let me know about that. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace!